Well, today I'm going to have a couple messages, based on my experience of being an entrepreneur in this wonderful country and around the world for the last 18 years. Basically it's going to be find mentors and be a mentor to those in your industry and those around you, to have the courage to succeed and not give up. Times are tough in a lot of industries right now, ag being one of them, and things are changing very fast, many disruptive things going on. And so you have to have courage, I believe, to be an entrepreneur, to be a successful leader in any industry. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about my experiences of being an entrepreneur, how I've kind of battled the ups and downs of being in such a male-dominated industry, and how things like mentorship can really help you navigate those hills.
In Saskatchewan, we've seen a group called Women in Ag get together and really support one another because agriculture, as is business all around, is still a male-dominated industry. Have you met challenges because you're a woman finding success in business?
Well, yeah, I'm a young ethnic woman in the beer business, so yes, absolutely, not to say the least. And I think, over the last almost 2 decades, it's been about the partnerships, also the support that I've had around me, not only as far as mentors, but colleagues, but also each individual has to come up with coping mechanisms as to how they deal with those adversities. And I'm an optimistic person, so I always have thought of my disadvantages as advantages and always really try to make them advantages. And so, yeah, there absolutely are a lot of challenges that I have faced in business. I've been able to break that ceiling and able to, with a lot of grit and passion for what I do, being able to be successful. But, my success is not over yet for me. I always like to say, it's one of those things that I think a lot of people in ag, even, there's always one more step that you want to take. There's always one more thing you want to discover and create. And so there's so much out there. It's just a matter of finding your footing.
Can you give me an example of an adversity that you met specifically as a woman and how you took that on when you first meet some of those challenges?
Yeah, I'd say right off the bat in the beginning, when I started and I would go into governments or retailers or grocers to try to sell your product, I would initially always get passed along as the beer girl. Like they were expecting me just to pour the beer and walk away and let my brother do all the talking, because how could, a young woman, never mind own something, but actually know what she was talking about. And so for the first little bit, absolutely, I used to get so angry, and my brother didn't always understand. He'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, they were talking to both of us, but I'd be like, no. And so I decided, you know what, when I walk in, they're already paying attention to me, so why not take that as an advantage? You're gonna stand out anyway. So I would be the best prepared, the best research, not only about my own products, but about everything else in the industry and the industry in general. So I became, for a lot of people in the industry and governments, the go-to for knowledge about what's happening in the industry around the world even. And also, a lot of people would say the superficial things, but you know what, is how I would bring the best me to everywhere I would be. I'd always be on time, I'd be the best dressed, I would be, take myself seriously to build my own confidence from the inside out, to say, yes, I not only deserve this seat, I am here and you have to listen. And I do find it's my job now that I have found success in not only agriculture, but in the liquor business, is to help others and to open the doors for others and bring them for a seat at the table. We still have a long way to go, though, to talk about, wages, parities, so many conversations still absolutely need to happen, but they are happening. So I think that it's a starting point for sure. And I believe that women are standing up for themselves more and more, which is a good thing, even with the pushback that they get in many different businesses and industries. So I think that we are on our way for sure, but there's still a lot more work to be done.
Talking about entrepreneurship in general, agriculture is a way of life for anybody in this business. Would you say that's the same for any entrepreneur, that you really have to live and breathe it? And how do you cope with that balance of running a business that is a part of the fabric of your family?
Yeah, you absolutely have to eat, sleep, breathe it. And I think that without that hard work, without that passion, without that grit, without that perseverance, nobody is successful as an entrepreneur despite what you might see or read in the media. You know, people think that I had an overnight success. I've been at this 18 years, so it's not overnight by any means. And I still work 14, 16-hour days. I travel a lot. I still work very, very hard despite what you see on social media, you know, and all those kinds of things. And so I think that sometimes it can be actually work negatively to let people know how much entrepreneurs are involved in their businesses and in the fabric and eat, sleep, and breathe it. And work-life balance, I have absolutely not figured it out, and I don't think that there's many people that have. It's a day-to-day thing for me. I have 2 young girls, but I have a very supportive husband. I have a great family that also supports me, and it's a team effort. It takes a village to raise a family, and so I discovered that very, very early on with my first daughter to say, I can't do this alone, and I don't want to do this alone. I think that there's a lot of letting go in order to kind of reach that work-life balance, but I can say by any means I don't have it down pat or a formula that totally works every day.
Nobody has all the answers, but thanks for sharing some of your life wisdom with us today, Manjeet.
Thank you. Thank you.